Hello everyone, I am Dr. Donald Ozello of Championship Chiropractic in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am the author of Running, Maximize Performance, and Minimize Injuries. Thank you for viewing today's episode of Dr. Ozello's Sports Medicine Report. Today I'm going to be speaking about stretching the chest muscles, the pectoralis major and the pectoralis minor. Whenever we stretch, you always want to move into the stretch slowly. Increase the stretch gradually. If any stretch increases symptoms or elicits symptoms in any way, shape, or form, it could be pain, numbness, tingling, or burning, could be in the neck, in the chest, in the back, in the shoulder, or any place in the upper extremity, even down in the fingers, you want to modify that stretch. You do not want to do any type of stretch or exercise that is eliciting symptoms or intensifying symptoms. Again, move into the stretch very slowly. Increase the stretch very gradually and hold a mild, comfortable stretch for anywhere from 5 seconds to 120 seconds. If you are not exercising right now, please check with the medical professional before you start exercising. Yes, this part is the disclaimer in the video. If you are not exercising right now, please check with the medical professional before you start any type of exercise program to make sure you are healthy enough to exercise. Please work with a professional if you have not been exercising. You can watch this video, learn from this video, perform these stretches, but make sure that a professional in the fitness industry or in the medical industry is watching you to make sure that you are doing it correctly. The chest muscles are the pectoralis major and the pectoralis minor. Those are the main muscles we're going to be stretching today. Now, several other muscles you may feel a stretch in if those areas are tight. Those include the serratus anterior, which are located right over here and go along the ribs and attach to the attached to the front part of the shoulder blade. You may also feel a stretch in the muscles in between the ribs, in the intercostal muscles. You may feel a stretch in the latissimus dorsi muscles or in the subscapularis muscles. All these muscles attach to either the front part of the arm or attach to the front part of the rib cage. So you may feel a stretch in those areas when we are stretching the pectoralis major and the pectoralis minor muscles. The pectoralis minor is a small muscle that originates on ribs 3, 4, and 5 and attaches to the very front part of the shoulder blade. Again, to the shoulder blade, not to the arm, but to the shoulder blade. So any stretch that moves that top part of the shoulder blade away from the rib cage is going to stretch the pectoralis minor. Now the pectoralis major, that's the bigger muscle in the chest. That has fibers that run straight across, they run at an angle, and they run almost vertical. These fibers in the pectoralis major, they originate in several different spots all through this area, and then they attach to the upper arm, to the humerus. So it's very important to stretch those muscles nice and slow, very gradually at a variety of angles. When we are stretching the pectoralis major, again, it is moving the humerus bone away from the rib cage where those muscles originate. Any type of stretch is basically moving the origin of the muscle away from the insertion or the attachment of the muscle, or the opposite, moving the insertion away from the origin of the muscle. That's what stretching is. We're just trying to elongate these muscles. You are performing these stretches to help to decrease muscle tension, which is going to allow the muscles to be longer and to move smoother, and will help with joint motion. It's also going to help to increase flexibility. So the joint will move easier, those muscles will contract, and they will not be constantly tight, but they will contract and relax a lot easier, and the joints will move easier because those muscles are more pliable. So the objective is to decrease the muscle tension with slow, static stretching. The pectoralis muscle stretching that I'm going to go over today is basically you're laying down I'm going to use a chiropractic table, but you can use a weight bench. If you have that at home, that's nice and narrow. That's a great way to stretch. You could do this at the gym on the weight bench. That works great. You could also do these stretches on a fit ball. The fit ball, if you have balance issues, then you don't want to use the fit ball, but the fit ball is a great tool for stretching. You could perform these stretches on the fit ball. You could also perform them on a foam roller. The foam roller is going to give you a lot of motion to move backwards. I love the foam roller. The foam roller is a great tool for stretching. You can do this stretch on the foam roller with it going, the foam roller is placed vertically down the spine. You want to make sure that the head is supported and the tailbone is supported. You don't want the head falling downwards and you don't want the spine falling downwards. The best time to perform slow static stretching is after your training. You never want to perform slow static stretching before your training, before your weightlifting, before your exercise, before you're running. You always want to perform it when you are finished. You could use it as part of your cool down, or you can do a separate stretching section. This will help to decrease the muscle tension. Those muscles are already warmed up, you have blood flowing to the chest muscles, so you can stretch those afterwards. Or you can stretch those on a day where it's a non-training day, where it's an active recovery day. Stretching the muscles on that day is extremely important and will be very effective. But you don't want to do slow static stretching before you exercise. Again, you can do slow static stretching when you're done exercising. You're going to get exceptional benefit from it then. Or you want to do it on a recovery day. You can combine it with foam rolling. You can combine it with massage, with chiropractic care, whatever you do on your active recovery days. But slow static stretching should always be done after your training, as part of your cool down, and as part of your active recovery. All the stretches I'm going to demonstrate for the pec major and the pec minor today are done in a supine position. Stretching the chest will help to improve your posture. We are constantly doing things in the front, especially if we work on a computer, that causes a strength imbalance, causes these muscles in the front to get tight and strong, while the muscles in the back get stretched out and get weaker. So we want to make sure that we stretch these muscles in the front and we strengthen the muscles in the back. The first stretch that I'm going to be performing is a very basic stretch where you move into the stretch very slowly. We have our palms facing upwards and the arms that are about 90 degrees from the body. Just let the arms fall down gradually. As you can see, I'm using a chiropractic table. You can use a table like this, you can use a training table, or if you have a bench press at home, you could use that, or you can do this at the gym. That will help because it's very narrow and it will allow the shoulder blades to stretch it back farther. Now we want to hold a mild, comfortable stretch anywhere from 5 seconds to 120 seconds. And I did say this in the very beginning, but please, if you start to feel pain, numbness, burning, any type of symptoms in the neck, in the shoulder, in the chest, in the upper back, in the arm, hands or fingers, please go ahead and stop the stretch or modify the stretch, because that could, if you don't, you could be causing an injury. So hold a mild, comfortable stretch. Right now I'm feeling a stretch, so I'm just going to hold this. And again, hold that stretch anywhere from 5 seconds to 120 seconds. Once you have completed that stretch, you go to the next one. The next one is basically the same. The arms, the upper arm is at 90 degrees from the body, but this time the elbows are bent and the palms are going to be facing the ceiling. So move into a mild, comfortable stretch. You always want to make sure that the back of your head is contacting the table and that your lower back is contacting the table. I have my knees bent and my feet flat on the table. This is probably going to be the most comfortable position for your low back. But once you are in the position that we are right now with the shoulders, hold a mild, comfortable stretch. Now, you will feel this at a little bit different of an angle than you did when we were with the arms out straight. When you have the arms bent, it just changed the angle slightly. and you will feel a little bit of a different stretch. Again, hold a mild, comfortable stretch for 5 seconds to 120 seconds. Once you're done with that one, relax for a second and then move into the next stretch. The next stretch, you interlace the fingers behind your head and you stretch. You will feel this stretch not only in the pec major and the pec minor, but also in the serratus anterior. This one you want to make sure that you don't bring your low back off the table. Just keep your low back on the table, keep your shoulder blades contacting the table. Now you can see the different angle that my arms are at compared to where they're at on the first two stretches. Hold a mild, comfortable stretch. Just let the shoulder blades fall down towards the table and let the elbows fall down towards the floor. Don't move into the stretch fast. Just move into the stretch very gradually. And then once you have completed this stretch for 5 to 120 seconds, you relax for a second, and then you want to stretch overhead. And when we stretch overhead, we do two different ones. You want to stretch towards the wall. And you will feel that in these muscles in the lateral part of the chest, the fibers that run very vertically. Just let the arms fall down and then stretch towards the wall behind you, or behind your head, I should say. And once you've completed that stretch, then you perform the stretch again. But on this one, just let the shoulder blades fall down towards the floor and let your arms fall towards the floor. Hold a mild, comfortable stretch. On this one and on the previous one, you want to make sure that you keep your low back on the table. You don't want to be lifting the low back. Keep the low back on the table and let the arms fall towards the floor. This will stretch the chest muscles. It will also stretch any of the muscles that connect the rib cage to the shoulder blades or the rib cage to the arm. Hold a mild, comfortable stretch in all positions. Thank you for viewing today's episode of Dr. Ozello Sports Medicine Report. I am Dr. Donald Ozello of Championship Chiropractic in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am the author of Running, Maximize Performance and Minimize Injuries. Please feel free to visit my website, championshipchiropractic.com, where you can get additional information on the book and you could connect with me on other social media platforms. Please like this video. Also, if you have questions, feedback, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. You could subscribe to my YouTube page where you can get weekly videos. I have 2 shows, 2 Minutes of Anatomy and Dr. Ozello's Sports Medicine Report. Both are published weekly. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's just my name, Dr. Donald A. Ozello, DC. Thank you for viewing today's episode of Dr. Ozello's Sports Medicine Report. Always, always, always remember, train hard, train smart, utilize nutritional strategies that work for you, stay injury-free, and accomplish your goals.